Have you ever walked into a room and felt an instant shift in energy, like someone's presence silently took command of the space? Do people confide in you for no clear reason, as if they sense something deep and calming within you? Have you ever noticed things around you responding to your mood, like your environment mirrors your emotional state? If any of this sounds familiar, you might not be like everyone else. You might have a powerful aura, and it's time to understand what that really means. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe if you're on a journey of self-mastery and want more powerful tools from Stoic philosophy and beyond. Because your growth isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. 1. You don't chase attention, you attract it. One of the most profound indicators of a strong inner presence is your ability to attract attention without even trying. You walk into a room and people glance your way, not because you're loud or flamboyant, but because something about you resonates. It's not your outfit or your voice, it's your energy. There's a calm authority in the way you carry yourself. You don't demand space, you embody it. This phenomenon has little to do with external beauty or charisma in the conventional sense. What you possess is harder to define but easier to feel. It's the quiet, grounded confidence of someone who knows themselves deeply, someone who doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. In a noisy world where everyone is trying to outshine each other, your silence becomes magnetic. Your stillness becomes power. From a Stoic perspective, this is a reflection of ataraxia, a state of serene calmness and unshakable inner peace. The Stoics believed that tranquility is achieved not by withdrawing from life, but by engaging with it from a place of grounded perspective. When you're anchored in your principles, you become immune to the tides of chaos that toss others around. You respond rather than react. You observe rather than absorb. People may not understand what it is they feel around you. Some might be intrigued, others might even feel threatened, because your presence forces them to confront their own restlessness. But what they're sensing is your alignment. You're not chasing validation. You've already found your value internally. That, in itself, makes you rare. When others gossip, you stay silent. When people panic, you remain composed. When egos clash, you keep your distance. These subtle actions speak volumes. They communicate that you are in control, not of others, but of yourself. And that control is what people gravitate toward. It gives them a sense of stability. There's something sacred about being the calm in a storm. People might not say it out loud, but they remember you as the one who didn't waver. They remember your centeredness when everything else was spinning, and because they remember it, they return to it. You become a lighthouse in their mental map, a symbol of clarity. This is not about arrogance or superiority. In fact, truly powerful energy is never boastful. It doesn't need applause to validate its worth. A strong aura doesn't shout, it whispers with purpose. It radiates from a deep well of self-respect, emotional discipline, and authentic intention. If you've ever wondered why strangers open up to you, or why people listen when you speak, even if you're soft-spoken, this is why. Your energy is congruent. There's no dissonance between your inner world and your outward behavior, and in a world full of noise, congruence is irresistible. So no, you don't chase attention, you attract it, because you are aligned, centered, and whole. That is the power of a grounded soul. That is the essence of Stoic calm. 2. You feel what others don't say. There's a certain kind of wisdom that doesn't come from books or lectures. It comes from observation, from tuning in to the subtle shifts in people's energy. You walk into a room, and before a single word is spoken, you can already feel who's nervous, who's pretending, who's silently hurting. You don't need explanations, you feel the truth. This ability to detect unspoken emotions isn't about being overly sensitive or emotionally fragile. On the contrary, it's a form of strength. It's emotional intelligence in its most instinctual form. You notice the slight change in someone's tone. You see the forced smile. You sense the heaviness behind the laughter. These are not accidents, they're signals. And you've trained yourself, consciously or not, to read them. The Stoics valued clear perception above all. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about the importance of seeing things as they are, not as we wish them to be. This clarity, when applied to human interaction, becomes a kind of social X-ray. While others are distracted by words, you pick up on intention. You're not easily deceived because you pay attention to what most ignore. But let's be honest, this gift can feel like a burden. When you're constantly aware of what people are truly feeling, even when they deny it, it can be exhausting. You might find it hard to relax in social settings. You may feel overwhelmed by the emotional noise around you. That's why learning to manage this sensitivity is essential. Boundaries become your best defense. Just because you can feel everything doesn't mean you should carry it. Emotional awareness doesn't require emotional absorption. It's okay to acknowledge someone's pain without taking it on. It's okay to notice discomfort without fixing it. Your job isn't to heal everyone. It's to remain grounded in your own peace. When used wisely, this gift becomes a superpower. You become the person who gives others the feeling of being seen, truly seen. And in a world starving for genuine connection, that's priceless. People trust you. They open up to you, not because you ask them to, but because your energy tells them it's safe to do so. You see the truth beneath the surface. That doesn't mean you judge it. It means you understand it. And that understanding, tempered by Stoic discipline, becomes wisdom. You learn to respond with empathy instead of emotion. You offer presence instead of performance. In time, you'll realize that your ability to feel what others don't say is not just an emotional tool, it's a spiritual compass. It guides you toward deeper connections, wiser choices, and a life lived in greater harmony with the truth. It teaches you how to love without illusions and lead without ego. Your gift is rare. Protect it, hone it, and use it to navigate the world with the quiet strength of someone who truly sees. 3. Your environment responds to you. There are moments when the world around you seems to react to your state of being. Maybe the lights flicker when your mind is racing. Maybe your phone glitches when you're overwhelmed. Maybe plants thrive when you're at peace, or technology seems to malfunction when you're upset. At first glance, it sounds far-fetched, but to those who live with heightened energy awareness, it's very real. Your aura, your energetic field, is not confined to your body. It extends outward, subtly influencing everything it touches. This is not mysticism, it's physics in motion. Everything is vibration, including your thoughts and emotions. When your inner world is agitated, it can throw your external world off balance. Conversely, when you're centered, calm, and present, life flows more smoothly. Doors open. Conversations align. Random events seem to work in your favor. The Stoics understood this principle in their own way. They taught that our internal state determines how we experience the external world. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." A centered mind reshapes how chaos is perceived, and sometimes it even shapes how chaos unfolds. When your energy is aligned, you influence your surroundings not through force, but through presence. People lower their voices when you enter the room. Arguments fade. Spaces feel safer. Even animals respond differently to you. This isn't coincidence, it's resonance. This effect extends beyond human interaction. Artists, musicians, and inventors often speak of being in the zone, where time bends and everything seems to cooperate. That flow state isn't limited to creativity. It's available to anyone who learns to regulate their energy. And when you live in that zone more often than not, the world begins to respond in kind. But this isn't about control, it's about alignment. Trying to manipulate your environment through willpower only creates resistance. True influence comes from surrendering to presence, from embodying stillness so completely that everything around you has no choice but to mirror it. Your environment becomes an extension of your inner life. A cluttered space might reflect an unsettled mind. A harmonious space often reveals emotional clarity. When you take care of your energy, through meditation, breath work, exercise, reflection, you restore the invisible field around you. And that field begins to shape your world. The Stoics called for harmony between the individual and the cosmos. They believed that living in accordance with nature, reason, and virtue created internal order, which naturally extended outward. You don't have to believe in the supernatural to see the truth in this. A disciplined, clear-minded person does change the atmosphere. They make life feel lighter for others. So if strange things happen around you when you're emotionally charged, take it as a reminder. Your energy is powerful. Use it wisely. Cultivate peace not just for your own sake, but because your presence has ripples you may never fully see. Your aura speaks before you do. Make sure it's saying something worthy of your highest self. For you know when to step back. People with strong auras possess a rare but essential understanding. Energy is not infinite. It must be protected, respected, and wisely directed. In a world that often romanticizes constant hustle and the 24/7 grind, stepping back is seen as weakness. But to those who know themselves, retreat is not a sign of failure. It is a strategy for longevity. You know when to pull your energy inward, not because you're giving up, but because you're recharging. For what matters, there's a profound inner compass guiding you. You've felt it before, the subtle tension building up when you've been too available, too open, or too accommodating. That moment when your body tightens, your mood dims, and your thoughts become foggy. This isn't just fatigue, it's your inner self warning you that your boundaries have been crossed or stretched too thin. And unlike many, you listen. You choose to step back instead of pressing on for appearances or to meet others' demands. To step back doesn't mean to retreat in fear or avoidance. It means to recenter. It's a conscious choice to remove yourself from situations, people, or environments that drain you rather than nourish you. You don't do this out of malice or coldness. You do it because your peace is sacred. Because you understand that you are of little value to others if you are completely depleted. There is no guilt in your withdrawal, only wisdom. That's the power of someone who truly understands their worth. While others may feel pressured to constantly explain their need for space, you've grown past that. You've learned that you don't owe access to everyone, and that explanation is not always necessary. You've come to realize that the right people, those who truly value you, won't be threatened by your silence. In fact, they'll respect it. The Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus taught that mastery over the self is one of the highest forms of strength. They believed that emotions and external noise should not govern your actions. You embody this principle by monitoring where your attention and energy go. Like a disciplined warrior choosing battles wisely, you don't engage in everything or with everyone. Not every argument deserves your voice. Not every invitation deserves a yes. Not every crisis requires your intervention. In today's hyper-connected world, this is an act of rebellion and self-preservation. Notifications, demands, deadlines, and social expectations all claw at your energy. The illusion is that if you're not constantly present, you'll fall behind. But you found freedom in the opposite. By stepping back, you see more clearly. You hear yourself more clearly. You return to your center. And from that grounded place, your actions carry weight. When you do choose to show up, it's with purpose, presence, and power. People feel it. They notice that when you speak, it's intentional. When you act, it's aligned. And when you are absent, it is felt. Not because you've ghosted anyone, but because your presence is never taken for granted. That is the paradox of powerful boundaries. The less available you are to everyone, the more your value increases. This wisdom isn't always easy to develop. It often comes after burnout, after emotional exhaustion, after moments when you gave too much. Perhaps you once believed that saying yes all the time would make you more likable or indispensable, but you've seen where that road leads: resentment, self-neglect, and a dimmed inner light. Now you protect your peace like a sacred flame. You step back, not because you're weak, but because you finally realized what's truly worth your time. And here's the beauty of it all. Every time you honor your boundaries, you give others permission to do the same. Your calm becomes contagious. Your strength becomes a quiet lighthouse for those lost in the storm of overcommitment. So don't be afraid to retreat when your soul calls for stillness. Know that in those moments of stepping back, you are not disappearing. You are sharpening your presence. 5. You attract opportunities without forcing them. Have you ever focused deeply on a goal, a desire, or a question, and then almost magically the right person appears, the perfect opportunity arises, or a random article or conversation gives you the answer you needed? That's not mere coincidence. That's synchronicity. Synchronicity, a concept popularized by Carl Jung, is the idea that meaningful coincidences occur when your inner world aligns with the outer world. And when you have a strong, intentional aura, this alignment becomes more frequent and more powerful. You don't have to force doors open. They begin to open as you walk toward them. This isn't about wishful thinking or magical manifestation. It's about clarity and congruence. When your internal state is grounded, intentional, and focused, your actions naturally follow. You begin to move through life not as a desperate seeker, but as a co-creator. You don't chase every opportunity, you attract the ones meant for you. Think about the times in your life when things seemed to flow effortlessly. You were probably clear on what you wanted, even if you didn't know the exact path to get there. You took small, aligned actions. You stayed open to possibility. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, something or someone helped accelerate your progress. That's the power of resonance, your energy matching the frequency of the opportunities around you. This is the essence of a powerful aura. It draws in experiences, relationships, and ideas that reflect your true self. The more authentic you are, the more life reflects that authenticity back to you. It's like tuning a radio. When you're on the right frequency, you start to receive exactly what you're meant to hear. People sense this too. When you're aligned internally, you exude confidence. Not the loud, boastful kind, but a quiet assurance. You don't need to beg for attention or manipulate situations. Your energy does the speaking. Opportunities, collaborations, and invitations naturally find their way to you because others feel that you're grounded, clear, and trustworthy. The Stoics believed that while we cannot control external events, we can always control our inner world, our thoughts, choices, and actions. When you align those elements, you put yourself in harmony with nature, or what they called the logos. And in that harmony, life responds. But make no mistake, this doesn't mean you sit back passively. You still work, you still show up. But you're not grinding in fear or desperation. You're moving with intention. You're letting go of the need to control every detail, trusting that what is meant for you will find its way and what isn't will naturally fall away. This mindset removes pressure. It transforms how you interact with time, with goals, and with people. You stop forcing connections and outcomes. You start planting seeds and allowing them to grow in their own time. And because of that, your energy becomes magnetic, not anxious. In essence, when you build a life of clarity, intention, and integrity, you no longer have to fight your way forward. The right doors open, the right people arrive, the right ideas land. Your aura doesn't just attract, it amplifies what you are already becoming. So if any of this resonated, understand this. Your aura isn't something mysterious. It's a reflection of your internal state. The Stoics taught that true power lies in mastering the self. When you do that, the world can't help but feel your presence. Your energy isn't loud, but it's undeniable. Subscribe if you're ready to become the kind of person who doesn't need to speak loudly, because your stillness says everything. Are you ready to unlock the power that's already within you? Let's keep building.